There's another reason Bitcoin will win. There is a massive imbalance that most people here don't notice. Every person in this room has access to a bank account without currency controls, a bank account from which they can buy and sell any currency in the world, a bank account from which they can wire money anywhere in the world, a bank account from which they can access international markets like the Tokyo Stock Exchange or the German Stock Exchange, a market from which they can access credit and liquidity, auto loans and mortgages, a bank account which is powerful. That power is available to about 1 billion people on this planet, 1 billion people who have access to full-fledged, international, high liquidity banking facilities. There are 2 billion people who have no bank accounts at all. There are another 4 billion people who have very limited access to banking. Banking without international currencies, banking without international markets, banking without liquidity. Bitcoin isn't about the 1 billion. Bitcoin is about the other 6.5. The people who are currently cut off from international banking. What do you think happens when you suddenly are able to turn a simple text messaging phone in the middle of rural Nigeria connected to a solar panel into a bank terminal, into a Western Union remittance terminal, into an international loan origination system, a stock market, an IPO engine? At first, nothing, but give it a few years. We've seen what happens with the development of cell phone technology that was deployed in Africa faster than any other technology ever in the history of humanity. We see small village where they have no running water, wood fires to cook with, and no electricity. Yet there's one little solar panel on top of a mud hut, and that solar panel is not there for light. It's there to charge a Nokia 1000 feature phone. That phone gives them weather reports, grain prices at the local market, and connects them to the world. What happens when that phone becomes a bank? Because with Bitcoin, it can be a bank. What happens when you connect 6.5 billion people to a global economy without any barriers to access? Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Welcome to Bitcoin Talk Show. We were just checking out the price of Bitcoin, which of course broke over 4,000 and now back under 4,000 just in time for us to have a show. Isn't that great? This is Bitcoin Talk Show at a special time and likely a special short one if there aren't any calls. Bitcoin average, there it is. Load, load, load. And the price of Bitcoin in the last 24 hours is up 0.75%, with a last of $4,015, a high of $4,024, and a low of 3,966. That's $1 for 24,903 Satoshis, just below the 25,000 Satoshi barrier. Checking out the top 10 altcoins by market cap. Ethereum up 1.25, Ripple up about 1%, Litecoin up 1.25, EOS up 1%, Bitcoin Cash up 1/4, Stellar up 2.75%, Binance Coin up 1%, Tether up 1/4, Tron up a point, and Cardano just almost into the top 10, up 5.77%. Checking out the top stories for Bitcoin. Hacker requests Bitcoin payments to reveal personal details of 26 million users. Ouch. Bitcoin break above 4,300 could create an ugly situation for Bitcoin short sellers. The 4,000 level is becoming life or death for Bitcoin traders, says one analyst. So there's all kinds of exciting price action in the Bitcoin news today. That's why we're talking about the price of 4,000. Bitcoin has challenged 4,000 convincingly 1, 2, now 3, maybe even 4 times in the last week or so, We are keeping an eye on the price of Bitcoin. Here's the 15-minute chart. Here's the 30-minute chart. We had that interesting multi-directional long killer, short killer, cleaning out the market right here. The medium on that was around 38.51. Then we saw 40.40 as a high. We went down to around 39.33, back up to 40.19, down to around 39.33, back up to 4,012. Haven't broken the 40-40 mark yet, are seeing some consolidation, a triangle forming in this range, as opposed to last time where we went up and back down. But we're keeping an eye on the price of Bitcoin. Hacker requests Bitcoin payment to reveal personal data of 26 million users. Sounds like a good deal. Let's see. The cache of data depends upon the company compromised. Most contain email addresses, usernames, password hashes, IP addresses, and various settings associated with the platform. So, not sure what platform it is yet. Gnostic Players has the details of 6 companies from across the globe. This is the 4th round of stolen data sales by the cyber criminal. So it might not even be the person who stole it. It could be just a person acting as an agent for stolen data. That's how hackery the world is getting. You can bid on the prices right there in Bitcoin on the so-called popular dark marketplace Dream, one of the many services that sprang up in the wake of the FBI's seizure of the Silk Road, which, as we said at the time and everyone else said at the time, would only spread out the landscape like a game of whack-a-mole. People just keep putting up more and more dark markets. So this hacking is going to keep happening, and the data is going to keep being sold until either our systems are secure or there are no more dark markets. Don't hold your breath for either one of those. An analyst, a break above 4,300 could create an ugly situation for Bitcoin short sellers. After breaking above the so important 4,000 level, Bitcoin has been able to maintain above this price, but has not garnered any significant buying pressure, allowing it to climb higher, which could spell trouble for the fledgling cryptocurrency. One analyst is now importantly noting that Bitcoin bears are ardently stopping the bulls from pushing the Bitcoin price higher, explaining that a break above 4,300 would create an ugly situation for them, as it would open the gates for further gains. So this is the battleground of Bitcoin at the price of $4,300. The 4,000 level is becoming life or death for Bitcoin traders. Very exciting stuff going on in Bitcoin and the 4,000 level as we continue to watch this exciting market. Once again, the bet for the hyper waivers is that Bitcoin will go to $1,500. It used to be $1,000 before it will go to $6,500. So if we do see a break to 4,200, we could see a break higher as the Bitcoin price is not known by anyone. If you like this show, please support the show by donating Bitcoin to the QR code shown on your screen. We've got a Tallycoin campaign to help us pay for couches and travel and trains and airplanes as we travel to the UK to interview people for the World Crypto Network right here. Free interviews. Subscribe. We've got another free interview coming out tomorrow, and we put one up today. Thanks so much to our recent donors, 0.00049,841, 0.0015, and 0.00126,149. Thanks so much for supporting this show. Just a quick recap, we're watching the price of Bitcoin. It's around $4,000. If you'd like to call in, we'll keep the phone lines open. Don't really have that much more to say right now. We have been watching the price like everyone else. It's been very exciting as it did top 4,000 briefly before retreating to around 3,931 before going back up to top 4,000 once again. you'd like to call us, you can call us now on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word, or at 518 600 1949. Got one more reading from Andreas here. Stories of scaling. Today, I'm going to talk about scaling. A lot of you have noticed that there is a very interesting debate in Bitcoin today about how to scale Bitcoin. That's the topic I want to address, not from a technical perspective, but from a broader perspective, to try to understand what it means to scale. Usenet will destroy the internet. Gather round and we will talk about a time long ago. It was in 1989 and the internet was dial up. Not just the connection of users to the internet, in most cases, the backbones to the internet were dial up. Between universities, between research stations, there were a few permanent high speed connections, 256 kilobits, 512 kilobits. But the internet was mostly dial up. Email has not yet really started to take hold, but there was a special place on the internet called Usenet. Usenet was a system of discussion groups where you could post a message in text and other people could see it and then they would respond. This was not instant messaging. This was slow messaging because in order for Usenet to work, all of the messages had to be transmitted by dial up systems and propagated from node to node in a system called store and forward. You would post a message and then it would take between 24 and 48 hours to reach everyone. Then they could respond and it would take 24 to 48 hours for you to see their response. Today, we would compare that like trying to communicate with Matt Damon on Mars, like in the Martian movies. At that moment, there was a big conversation among the engineers of the internet because Usenet was getting very popular and it was getting very big. Kilobytes and then megabytes of text information needed to be transmitted. At first, it would take about 30 minutes on a dial-up connection to get all of the Usenet messages for a day. Then, as the system became more popular, more messages meant more data and more time. Soon it was taking 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. And the experts predicted the end. They said, if you draw a point where we are today and another at where we were 6 months ago and connect them in a line, very soon it will take 26 hours to transmit one day's messages. And then we have a problem because we only have 24. So what happens then? The internet will collapse. Clearly, it can't scale. It can't possibly scale. And as Andreas goes on and on throughout the chapter, in his book, The Internet of Money, which you can purchase by Andreas Antonopoulos, alt groups will destroy the internet. The Usenet was expanding into alt groups. They had a lot of debate. They had a lot of images. They were starting to get too big. So the internet couldn't scale. So we had a scaling issue for the internet. Then we had trouble with email and attachments and then the web. And basically what he's saying that each new technology had trouble scaling and they all said it was impossible at first. And Netflix will destroy the internet. Voice over IP will destroy the internet. Cat videos will destroy the internet. And that scaling is a moving target and that we just have to keep moving and going forward with it. You've seen a lot of people debating this again with the Bitcoin takes electricity problem. Yes, Bitcoin takes electricity. If you didn't have any electricity, you couldn't use Bitcoin. You also couldn't use the legacy banking system. This is also similar to the Bitcoin uses electricity problem. Well, the internet and the legacy banking system both use electricity. So if you didn't have electricity, you can't do a lot of things. So it's not really a good disadvantage on Bitcoin, but we keep seeing people running back to it. We are watching the price of Bitcoin. It is $3,993.43. Today's date is Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We're checking out the chat. If you've got any questions in the chat, you can go ahead and ask them now. We are running out of time for this quick update show. I did get the phone calls ready, so if you would like to call us, we have just a couple more minutes on the phone call line. Otherwise, we're going to end this show. But thanks again to everybody for watching. We've been checking out the price of Bitcoin on Bitcoin Talk Show. Give us a thumbs up and a share. The price is up around 0.71, but it is that oh so dramatic round number of 4,000 that's got everyone's panties in a bunch. Everyone is super excited, or they're not excited, or they just don't care one way or another. The price of Bitcoin does seem to be driving up the price of altcoins as well, most in similar ranges to Bitcoin, some slightly higher because of their own basic news about their own features or deals with giant companies, so on and so forth, as they are like to announce. Checking out Bitcoin on Google, mainly talking about the price. Bitcoin price pounds into bull market. Bitcoin will break higher in next move based upon 12-month average. The price of Bitcoin may not be related to active addresses. A big step backwards for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is losing its Wall Street buy-in. Trouble as everyone discovers the CBOE news from a couple of days ago. They say it was too expensive, but maybe they were holding the price of Bitcoin back. No one really knows. Keeping an eye on the price, still pretty steady. Maybe a bit of a correction there. We talked about hackers requesting a Bitcoin payment to reveal personal details of 26 million users. Sounds like a good deal. We've also got analysts saying that Bitcoin must break above 4,300 in order for future gains to be plausible. And according to MarketWatch, the $4,000 level is becoming life or death for Bitcoin trader. Thanks so much for joining us on our Bitcoin Breaks $4,000 again special. Be sure to donate Bitcoin or email me about couches and the UK. If you're near the Manchester area, join us at CoinFest April 4th, 5th, and 6th for a free Bitcoin convention with lots of booths and altcoins and all kinds of things. Looks like we just had another donor. Thanks so much to donor 0.0125196. Thank you for your support. Until next time, bye bye.